This week on Ideas to Inspire Ideas, I have good news and bad news. The bad news is I have now come full circle to eat my own tail, cannibalizing an idea for a YouTube video in order to make a YouTube video. The good news is the premise is rewriting the first season of Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Before you start, I already know there's a Marvel organization called S.W.O.R.D. I just looked it up after the fact. Which means this video is doing double duty and qualifies for the fanfiction playlist that I recommended back in episode 5. You have been checking out the recommendations, right? You have watched my previous episodes, right? As the standard spiel of these kinds of videos, by trying to rewrite a pre-existing piece of media, I am not saying that I am better than the writers, directors, showrunners of the official piece. I may be better in some aspects, but not professionally. And in fact, I have to check my privilege in not being professional. I am gifted with the benefit of both hindsight and outsider's perspective. I am just a humble YouTuber allowed to shoot the shit about these things. Not an overworked, underpaid cog in the machinery that is television, Marvel, Disney, Hollywood, capitalism, government, lizard people. Additionally, I am not a big comic book reader. I would like to be, but don't really have the financial opportunity in Bogan, Australia. So most of the references are second-hand, so allow me that leeway, and feel free to educate me nicely. For those of you who need a recap or just haven't watched season 1, it focuses on S.H.I.E.L.D, who breaks into S.H.I.E.L.D computers to find out about her mysterious parents. In doing so, she gets hired by S.H.I.E.L.D and placed on a very important level 7 team led by previously confirmed dead Agent Coulson to handle mundane situations in broad daylight that feel more like level 1 scenarios. Until it is revealed that Hydra has infiltrated S.H.I.E.L.D, including this very team through Agent Ward. Now it's getting exciting. S.H.I.E.L.D and the others managed to defeat Hydra from within, but with the Captain America connection, S.H.I.E.L.D is outed, disbanded, and a new version of S.H.I.E.L.D is announced. Everybody loves Coulson, because in a worldwide organization of secret agents, he was the one Nick Fury loved enough to bring back from the dead. So, to preface my version of this series, I actually created my own cold open. Forgotten Morris Entertainment proudly presents Barty's Angels. I mean, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
The secret is out. For decades, your organization stayed in the shadows, hiding the truth. But now we know. They're among us. Heroes. And monsters. The world is full of wonders.
Commander Fury, Quartermain is here to see you.
Send him in. Did you hear? Yep. What of Agent Barton? Any adverse effects? Not yet, but we're keeping an eye on him. Your good eye, right? Yes, my good eye. Will he return to duty? Yes. You shouldn't allow it. Clay. Barton has been compromised. He is a liability now. He is being assessed. He aided in an attack against us that released a prisoner and led to an agent's death. But then he aided us. Can you confirm that he won't turn against us again? I trust him. Shouldn't trust anyone. I trust you. And I trusted Coulson. There are very few people I can trust, and it's becoming fewer. Which is why I asked you to come in. I need you to go undercover. I thought this was supposed to be a challenge. It is. You're going undercover within S.H.I.E.L.D. You mean, yes, you get to become a ghost. Level 7? Finally. The nuke attack was a direct order from the World Security Council, and if I remember declining that order, how did the nukes still end up in the air? You've argued your position long enough. Now I agree we need to take extra precaution against those who don't need brainwashing to betray us all. Do you have any actual questions? Does my next of kin get a compensation package? Sure, once you have a next of kin. Till then you can put it towards your team. What team? I'm sorry to break it to you, Clay, but I need you to do this right. You cannot play judge and jury all by yourself. You just told me there's no one I can trust. Now you're telling me to assemble a team? I am telling you to find people you can trust. So when do I die? 3 weeks. Well, I better get started then.
We can't explain everything we see, but our eyes are open. So what now? There are no more shadows for you to hide in. Something impossible just happened. What are you going to do about it?
First things first, yes, this is my casting choice for Clayton Quartermain, yet another white male protagonist in a franchise oversaturated with them. I'm sorry. I did try to keep a consistent tone with the original intro, hence the painting in the S.H.I.E.L.D. lobby for some reason. But in the original opening, Skye was actually present to witness the something impossible happening, which this time didn't happen. So if I had full control, I would rewrite that bit. And I know that my version of Nick Fury heavily contradicts.
Last time I trusted someone, I lost an eye.
But do I really have to remind you how that particular plot thread was eventually resolved? So the first big addition you may not have noticed is an immediate cause and effect from the events of Avengers, the aftermath of Barton's brainwashing and the casualty of Coulson, while also giving stronger context to why this series is so isolated within the MCU. Our characters don't want to be seen by everyone. Nick Fury is now very uncertain about his position in S.H.I.E.L.D. and wants to look further into it. And I'm making level 7 not just another level of S.H.I.E.L.D., but a brand new construct that had been workshopped previously by Fury, Coulson, and Quartermain, based completely on this one line.
What's your clearance level?
It's funny. It's level 6. Like you. Come on, there's a level 7.
How do you not know that your immediate superior is level 10? I mean, I know it's about segregating information, but has Fury never confirmed his clearance level around you? Why am I talking to you? You're dead. And from here, the show's Monster of the Week structure will be actually pulling double duty. We'll be following our agents investigating the larger S.H.I.E.L.D. organization, while other agents are dealing with the larger world of freaks and oddities. So instead of randomly starting an episode cleaning up the destruction of Thor the Dark World, we'll start by investigating the cleanup crew in said destruction. Which does make sense, since cleaning up New York caused 3 separate incidences. And I actually thought deeper on how I would structure that particular episode. I'd started in the middle of the mission without revealing what location they're in, until strange reports of a rampaging beast come to interrupt the investigation. And then, of course, my choice of new character makes more connections from the comics, with personal relationships to both the Hulk and Jessica Jones, allowing all of them to come together. If contracts allow. Personality-wise, I'm doing a bit of tweaking, though. In the comics, Quartermain is loyal, friendly, upstanding gentleman type. I'm going to go similar to the comics version of Maria Hill. since the movies didn't go in that way, which, ironically, that version is more like the comics Quartermain. This guy's more strict, stubborn, untrusting, kind of unlikable, at the start at least, so there's character growth, and highly values secrecy, obviously. And for a while in the comics, Clayton was in charge of the Paranormal Containment Division at S.H.I.E.L.D. So that reference to becoming a ghost was a complete coincidence. I was actually referencing the British TV series The Ghost Squad about internal investigations into the police force. No idea why that would be relevant, but as Marvel knows, and almost nobody else does, all that world-building stuff is just the seasoning on top of a good steak. So for this show, what are the stakes? Well, of course, now the central question is, are we good enough spies to catch spies? Now, because of my version of Nick Fury, we can't question him as a part of Hydra. And the possibility of Coulson being alive or not, I could go either way. But as well as being suspicious of living agents, Clayton will be looking into some of Coulson's unfinished cases. We'll see in flashbacks that Coulson and Clayton were very good friends, even though nobody else liked Clayton, hopefully transferring a bit of audience empathy. But some of you may have picked up a bit of a contradiction. If Clayton is so cautious, how did a double agent like Ward get into his group? You see, the problem is Clayton is very loyal to the idea of S.H.I.E.L.D., not to the people in it. But when reading all the glowing reports about Ward's skills as an agent, it would be helpful to know that they were written by Hydra agents. So with that reveal on top of suspicion of Coulson, Clayton will have to start rethinking his relationship to Skye, the outsider who's forced onto his team by Fury because Clayton just wouldn't agree to it otherwise. That's where Skye's power on the team comes from. With less emotional connections within S.H.I.E.L.D., she can question them more and push the others to rethink their biases. And by the end of his character arc, Clayton will have learned from her that it is a good thing to seek opinions outside of your trust circle. So in terms of ideas to inspire ideas, feel free to use my story concept, but as far as characters and locations go, they're not mine to give you, so you can't have them. In my original concept, this is where I would go through the rest of the series and discuss how my starting point would change later plot lines. But I haven't actually watched any Marvel TV since that first season. I stuck to the movies and actually converted to DC TV for a while. I've done quite a few superhero-themed videos on this channel, and I will always be a Marvel fan. But with the momentous occasion that was Endgame last year, and the continued delay of Black Widow, I'm perfectly fine with leaving Marvel and superheroes for the time being. I just don't need a hero. Why the hell did I bother? Thanks for watching. This is my verbal declaration that I will not sue anyone for using the previous outline to create their own work, regardless of how much fame or money you might get from it. I'm definitely not the kind of artist who thinks I can own a concept. However, I would like to see what comes out of this video just for comparison and curiosity. If you do make something or find an existing piece that's similar, please let me know through Twitter or Facebook or email, and I'll happily check it out. Happy creating, Bard Riley out! And now, ironically, at the end of a fanfiction reimagining, which I really enjoy doing, my final thought on the very nature of fandom is depressing. I know I started this video making jokes about the mass media system, but I've watched so many videos on YouTube analysing and critiquing media, pointing out the flaws and finding solutions to them, not out of spite or ignorance, but
out of love and passion and creative thought. All of these people, my people, whether I agree with their opinions or not, we all place our happiness, our value, our emotional connection in the hands of people who do not care about us or the things we love. We can build lives around our favourite franchises, or fight each other over every disagreement, or defend complete strangers whenever our loved ones don't like their work. But none of that stops the businesses that create this stuff from seeing nothing more than the profits they get. The people who truly care are no higher in power than I, and quite often receive even worse treatment. We cannot fix this industry that lies and steals and exploits us relentlessly. There are no ghost squads for us. We can only look at what we are given, after so much potential has been twisted by blind greed and malice and stupidity, and think how great you could have been. For exploration of these themes and more, visit my Patreon page for free samples of game and movie projects, and then give me money to finish them.